Swiggity swag, what's in the bag? Jay here, finally bringing you guys a tutorial on how you can Pokegen into Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, and in Pokemon X and Y using the new program, or not really a new program, but using the program called PKHeX. Now, before, you couldn't Pokegen into Pokemon X and Y or Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire directly. You needed either a save dongle and Pokebank, or you needed a power save in order to create Pokemon. But now you don't need any of these at all. All you need is an SD card and an SD card reader, unless you have an SD card slot on your computer and or laptop. But since I don't have that on my computer, I needed an adapter, so I got one. I got it cheap off of Amazon. All you have to do is just look up on Amazon, look up SD card reader, and you will be good to go. But this is really all you need, and you need a couple of files that will be in the video description that you can download. Shout out to Kaphotics, I think that's how you pronounce their name. Shout out to them for all the stuff for, you know, to make this even possible. So that's really cool and all that fun stuff. And before we jump into this tutorial, if you do not like cheaters and you don't like cheating, then please do not watch this video, because we are going to be cheating. I am going to be teaching people how to cheat, and this video is meant for them, not you. If you don't like cheating, this video is not for you, and you should click away from the video now. That way we can avoid senseless hate and avoid, you know, unnecessary hate and all that fun stuff. But yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this tutorial. So first thing you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to plug in your SD card into your computer, and you're gonna want to go to the root of your SD card. Okay, now when I say the root of your SD card, I mean you go to computer, you click on your SD card, and then that is literally it. This is the root of your SD card. Okay, now I had you guys download a file called PCEdit. So we're gonna go ahead and open up the PCEdit file. If you do not have Winrar, you can download Winrar for free. It gives you a 40-day trial forever, and basically, yeah, that's really about it. So let's go ahead and double click on the PCEdit file, and you will see 3 files in here. You will see pcn.bin, pcout.bin, and a readme.txt file. Now, we don't need the readme file. You can look at the readme file. The readme file is literally an instruction list, but I'm showing you guys how to do that with this video, so you don't really need to readme. But if you want to keep the readme just in case you forget, or actually keep the readme because it does have the links that you will need in order to you know, inject your save file into your game and all that fun stuff. But we're not worried about the readme right now. We're worried about the PCN and PCout. So we're gonna take the PCN file and the PCout file, and we're gonna highlight them and drag and drop them into the root of our SD card. Okay, and so that is all we need to do there. So you can go ahead and close out of both of these, and you can go ahead and take your SD card out and put it into your 3DS. And now what we need to do is start up our game and get into our game. Okay, get into your Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire game. I also forgot to mention that this does work for the downloaded copy as well. Okay, it works for the physical copy as well as the downloadable copy. So now let's go ahead and jump into our game. Okay, so now that we are in the game, what you want to do now is you're going to want to hit the home menu on your 3DS, and you're going to go to the internet browser. And now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to URL, and you're going to type in this URL exactly as you see it here on the screen, exactly as I say to type it in. All right, so bit.ly/1 lowercase y, capital R, capital U, lowercase l, capital B. Now I'm not sure if the capitals or lowercase are really relevant or whatnot, but it just makes me feel better to type it in this way, because that way I know it's correct. And if you know, if anything goes wrong, then I will know it's not the actual me. It's not actually me typing in the URL wrong or anything like that. But this right here will allow you to run the PCout file that is on your SD card. Okay, so what you're gonna do now is hit confirm. Okay, now you can make this into a bookmark, which will make it even a lot easier for you to, you know, get your save file off of your game or things like that. But let's go ahead and hit confirm, and what should happen is our internet browser should crash. Okay, our internet browser should crash. Alright, there you go. So now our internet browser crashed. So now what you can do is you can go ahead and completely turn off your game. Just turn off your game. And now we're gonna go back to the PC, get the SD card out of your 3DS and put it back into the PC, because that is where the save file is located. So now let's go ahead and head back to our PC with our SD card. Okay, so now we're back at the PC and we have plugged in our SD card, and now you should see a third file called PCData.bin. Okay, this right here is our save file. This is our save file with all of our Pokemon on it that was on our save file for our actual game. Okay, so now that we have this, what we can do is now open up the PKHeX program, because now we're gonna go ahead and get into actually you know, making a Pokemon. All right, so what you're gonna do first is you're gonna go to File and you're gonna go to Open, and you're gonna go to the root of your SD card. Now you're only gonna see the DCIM folder and the Nintendo 3DS folder, but that is when you go down here, and you should see PKX files. Click that and then click on all files. Actually, you can't even see that on my screen. Let me try that again. All right, there you go. So if you missed that step, it should say PKX files down here. Click that and click on all files, and then all of the files should show up. All right, and we're gonna click on the PCData.bin file, and it should say alert box binary loaded, and just click OK. And now we are in our game and we're in our save file, and now we can create, edit, and do all kinds of things with our Pokemon. So now I'm going to show you guys how you can make your own Pokemon. Alright, so now that we have gotten into our save file, let's go ahead and create a Pokemon. Now, I find it a lot easier for us to go ahead and just edit a Pokemon that we already have. So I'm gonna edit this cast form because it's really easy. That way we don't have to actually get our shiny ID or anything like that. The cast form has all of the OT that we need on it. And so it's going to be a lot easier to create a Pokemon this way. So we're going to go ahead and right click and click on view, and let's go ahead and edit this cast form. So I'm going to create an Electivire because Electivire is my favorite Pokemon, and I know Electivire movesets like the back of my hand and all of that fun stuff. So let's go ahead and type in Electivire. If you want it to have a nickname, make sure you check mark this. Make sure you put a check mark here, and let's go ahead and give it a nickname. Make sure you don't go over the character limit, which I think is like 11 or 12 now. So make sure you don't go over the character limit. But let's go ahead and name it Gigawatt. Experience and level, you can just make it level 100. Nature, make it any nature you want. I'm gonna go Jolly because Jolly is best. Held item, you can give it any item you want. I am going to go ahead and choose the life orb because why not? Friendship, if you need maximum friendship and whatever for moves like return, or if you need minimum friendship for moves like frustration, then you can change it to either 255 or 0. I'm going to change it to 255 just for the sake of, you know, having max happiness and max friendship, yada yada yada. Ability, now make sure the ability is released, okay? If the ability is not released yet, you will not be able to use it online. You will not be able to battle with it. You will not be able to trade with it. You will not be able to do anything with it, okay? So make sure the ability is released. Now, of course, Motor Drive is one of 2 abilities that Electivire gets. The other ability is Vital Spirit. I do believe Vital Spirit is released, but Vital Spirit is trash to me, and so I'm gonna choose Motor Drive. All right, so let's go ahead and choose our ability. Language, choose whatever language your game is or your Pokemon is, unless you want to make it like a Japanese Electivire or a Japanese Pokemon for this, or you know, something foreign for the sake of Masuda methoding or Masuda methoding, however you want to pronounce it. But I'm just going to keep it English because it's just a lot easier that way for me. And this right here, you don't want to click this because we're making an entire Pokemon. We're not making it into an egg or anything like that. If you want to give it Poke Rush, you can, but at this point, there's really no reason to, because what we're doing is making a fully competitive Pokemon, so we don't need the EV Train or anything like that, and that's what Poke Rush is for, so we don't need that. And for the country, sub-region, and a 3DS region, Honestly, if you did what I did and just edit another Pokemon, then all of this should already be filled in, so you shouldn't even have to worry about this. But if for whatever reason it's not filled in, just put in your country, put in your sub-region, and then put in your 3DS region, and you'll be good to go. So now let's go ahead and head over to the place met. Alright, so for place met, you're going to choose the origin game, which is either Pokemon X and Y or Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, unless the Pokemon has a move that they can only learn in an older game. If they have a move that they can only learn in an older game, like for instance, I think Seismic Toss Chansey or something is like 3rd gen only or something, then that's when you'll choose, you know, Emerald, Ruby, Sapphire, or whatever. But for the sake of this video, Electivire learns all these moves in X and Y and Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, so we can keep the origin game the same. Now, met location. Now, since Electivire can be an egg and hatch as an Elekid, we're gonna go ahead and go up to Battle Resort because that is where the daycare is at. So let's go ahead and go to the Battle Resort, and then we're gonna go ahead and go to Ball. We're gonna keep it in the Pokeball, and met level is gonna be 1. Now, of course, if you're Pokegening a legendary, then the met location might be a little bit different, especially if it's an event legendary. Then you have to get the event legendary just right. But if it's a legendary like, let's say, Ho-Oh, well, you get Ho-Oh and C Maulville, so you choose C Maulville for Ho-Oh. And if you need help on where to catch certain legendaries, then go to Cerebi or Bulbapedia.com, and you should be good to go because they can help you out with that. So now, met date. Met date, you can just choose today's date. I always choose today's date because it's actually a lot easier for me if I choose today's date, because you can hatch an egg in a single day. That's really no problem at all. And then what we're gonna do now is we're gonna click as egg. Now, like I said, if it's a legendary Pokemon, you don't need to click this, alright? But since Electivire is not a legendary Pokemon and it can actually be hatched from an egg as an Elekid, we're gonna click as egg, and we're gonna go ahead and hit location, and we're gonna call this daycare helpers, and we're gonna go ahead and make the date today's date, and we should be good to go with that. Now let's go ahead and head over to stats. Alright, so as you guys know, you can only have 31 IVs in each stat, alright? So we're gonna go ahead and max out the IVs on each stat for our Electivire. So we're gonna have all 31 IVs for our Electivire. Now, for the EVs, you can only have a total amount of 510 EVs, okay? If you have 511 EVs, 512 EVs, whatever, anything that is above 510, that will make it to where your Pokemon cannot be used online. You can't trade it, you can't battle with it, you can't do anything with it. So make sure that you keep track of the EVs on your Pokemon. So for the sake of the video, I'm gonna give it 252 in attack, and then 252 in speed, and then I'll give it 4 in HP. And you see that we're at 508 now, which is only 2 below of what we actually need. Now, of course, with usual spreads, you only hit 508 because 510, it's a really weird number. There's really no reason to place 2 EVs in any other stat, so you're really gonna end up hitting 508. But that's 508. But that's good. That's good because that means you didn't go over the limit. So there's that. If you want to randomize the IVs and the EVs, you can, but you know, if you're trying to make a competitive Pokemon, then you're trying to have the best stats ever. So you know, you don't even need to worry about this. But let's go ahead and head over to attacks. Now, make sure these Pokemon can learn the attacks. If they can't learn the attack and you give them that attack, they won't be able to be used online, alright? And this gets a little bit tricky if you're using Pokemon that can only learn that certain move in a previous generation. Like I said, Seismic Toss Chansey / Blissey, I think you can only get that in 3rd gen or something like that. It's something weird like that. I know there are a few Pokemon that are like that, so you got to make sure your place met is actually perfect. But for the sake of this video, Electivire is pretty easy, so I'm going to go ahead and give it Wild Charge and give it the maximum PP ups that it needs. I'm also going to give it Earthquake and give it the maximum PP ups that it needs. I'm going to give it Ice Punch, and I'm going to give it Brick Break because I know it actually gets these moves, and that is it for the moveset. So now let's go ahead and head over to the OT trainer, and let's see, this is actually really weird. So what we should do now is let's go ahead and get rid of that and just put in your name, Well, I guess that's my name. Okay, that's my name. I don't know why, but that's my name. That's kind of weird, but let's just go with it. Latest, not OT handler. You don't really need this because, I mean, you're going to be the original trainer anyway, so this doesn't matter. Extra bytes don't really matter in my personal opinion. But what we need to do is we need to go to memories/me, okay? Now, with this, apparently they use this to, you know, check Pokemon, and it's really weird. They use it to check the legality of Pokemon. It's really weird. Now, you could just choose, you know, you could just choose a random one. Let's just go ahead and choose was taken to Pokemon daycare by blank blank and left with blank blank. You know, let's just choose that. Let's just choose that because why not? And let's go ahead and click save. And then what we're gonna do is just hit re-roll a couple of times because, you know, why not? And there you go. So now we have all of this settled. So let's go ahead and go back to main, and we're gonna go to PID, and we're gonna hit re-roll a couple of times. Now, if you want the Pokemon to be shiny, all you have to do is click this star, okay? That's all you have to do, and that makes your Pokemon shiny. Now, as you can see, you can't click it again and make it not shiny. So if you want to get rid of its shininess, just hit re-roll and it gets rid of the shininess. So let's just hit re-roll a couple of times, and now we have successfully made our Pokemon. If I went too fast, I truly apologize. You can go back and just watch each step at a time. But this is our Electivire. So now what you're gonna do is you're gonna right click in an empty spot and you're gonna hit set. All right, and there's our Electivire right there. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over to I do believe tools. We're gonna go over to tools, and what we're gonna do now is we're gonna hit save box data plus, okay? And it's gonna say yes, export all boxes, no export boxes, blah blah blah, cancel will abort the operation. You want to hit yes, so let's go ahead and hit yes, and it's gonna take us back to our SD card, and what you're gonna do is hit save. It's gonna say PC data.bin already exists. Do you want to replace it? Yes, we do. And so there you go. Now our Pokemon is on our SD card. So now what we need to do is we need to go back into our game. We need to take out our SD card and then put it back into our game and start up our game again. So I will be right back once again. Okay, so now we're back in our game. Now what you need to do is you need to go to the home menu and you need to go to the internet browser. Alright, and now what you're gonna go to is URL, and now you're gonna type in this URL in order to inject your save file into your game. Alright, so it's gonna be bit.ly/ and now it's gonna be 1 capital J P C Y capital G capital T, and you're gonna hit confirm. And now what should happen is our internet browser should crash again. There's the green screen and it should crash. Just wait for the crash. And now what you can actually do is go back into your game and your Pokemon should be in the PC. So let's go ahead and check our PC, and voila, would you look at that, we got ourselves an Electivire. Hello, how are you doing, Electivire? So let's go ahead and check the summary, and the Electivire has all the moves, and Jolly egg received from daycare helpers, egg hatched where battle resort, characteristic alert to sounds. Alright, and that is how you make a Pokemon. And just to show you guys that this does work online, let's go ahead and go to the PSS, and I'm gonna go ahead and Wonder Trade this thing away. So let's go ahead and hit the Wonder Trade, and someone is gonna be getting a free Electivire. So let's just go ahead and do this, and I will be back once we're on Wonder Trade successfully. Alright, so here we are at Wonder Trade, so let's go ahead and hit yes, and let's go ahead and Wonder Trade this very powerful Pokemon. and boom goes the dynamite. There you go, guys, and we have successfully created ourselves a Pokemon that we can trade away, we can battle with it online, and all of that using the PKHeX program. So hopefully this tutorial helped you guys, and if it did help you guys, do not forget to hit that like button, because it does help show your support and all this fun stuff. And if you see anyone else having trouble with Pokegening and Pokemon Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire or X and Y, and you saw that this tutorial was very helpful, then by all means go show this tutorial to your friends, and that way they can Pokegen Pokemon as well. And this dude is about to get a very powerful Electivire, and we just got ourselves a Hawlucha. But that is going to be it, you guys, for this tutorial. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope this tutorial helped you out a lot. Don't forget, check out the links in the video description, because those links do help out a lot, and you're gonna need them and all that fun stuff. Remember, this does work on downloadable copies and physical copies. I'm actually on my downloaded copy of Alpha Sapphire right now, if you actually did not know. So I'm on my downloaded copy of Alpha Sapphire, and it works for downloaded copies and physical copies. You don't need power saves, you don't need save dongles, you don't need any of that, alright? And make sure, if the Pokemon learns a move in a certain generation, make sure the placemat is, you know, of that generation, all that fun stuff. Now, I can't really show you guys how to do all of that, you gotta experiment, but I just needed to warn you guys, because there's going to be a lot of people saying, you know, hey, I'm trying to gen this and it's not working, can you please help me? And it's like, I can't help everybody, you know, I can't really help everybody. So you just have to double check, you have to experiment, and you just have to learn how to Pokegen things on your own and all that fun stuff. I'm just here to show you guys how to Pokegen, but I can't show you guys how to Pokegen every single Pokemon out there and all that fun stuff. But like I said, if this tutorial did help you, don't forget to hit that like button, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.